What's up, Bridal Babes? I hope you're ready for another exciting episode of your favorite local wedding show, Bridal Buzz. I'm your host, Kat, and today we're joined in the studio by Elise and Kevin. We're going to talk all about their love, how they met, their engagement, their wedding planning, and of course, the big day. You're not going to want to miss this. And a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort and Spa. You'll hear more about them as we get going. But with that, let's get started. Okay.
Hello.
Let's get into it. Yes. Thank you so much again, Elise and Kevin, for coming into the studio today.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep, no problem.
We're very excited to have you guys. So why don't we start out by hearing a little bit about who you guys are and how you met?
You go first.
Jinx.
My name is Kevin Andre Walker II. Most people know me as Andre
Okay.
because my dad's Kevin, so Andre.
Okay.
You can call me Kevin, it's fine. I'm 27. I work security. I've worked security for about 7 years now, something like that. And yeah, I've been in love with her since I was 17, 18.
Aww.
So
I'm Elise. We met in 2011,
Wow.
and we met in San Antonio. We went to high school together. That
Are you
sounds
both
about
San
right.
Antonio natives, or did you move around, or?
So we're both military brats,
Okay.
Army brats. But
I moved way less than her.
I moved about every 3 years of my life.
Wow.
Until my dad retired, and then we moved to San Antonio, and it was just fate. Like I met him, and yeah, I was supposed to be here. But I lived in San Antonio now for 10 years now. So
Aw.
yeah,
Nice.
we're from here.
Yeah.
This is home.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you guys met in high school. How exactly did you meet?
So it was the summer before my junior year. I was in choir in high school, and when she was coming in as a freshman, there was a choir Facebook group. And obviously the new people get added to the Facebook group, and she messaged me outside she messaged me on Facebook and was just like, "You're the most attractive person in the Facebook, the most attractive guy in choir."
She said that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
Listen.
love you.
14-year-old me was bold, I guess.
Yeah.
She was confident. I love this energy.
Yeah.
Yes. And so how did that make you feel?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
teenage
good. I'm
you
not
was
gonna lie. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I was conceited in high school, so her saying that, I was like, well, duh. Have you seen the rest of the dudes in choir?
Right.
But also I was like, that's crazy. So then I just started talking to her, and she was an amazing personality, and it was crazy because she was in Dubai, she was on vacation. So there was we started talking, had these 3 days of great conversation. And then she was like, "All right, cool. I'll see you at the choir meet and greet in 2 weeks." And then I didn't talk to her for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what I was on. Wanted to shoot my shot, and I'm
was
yeah,
crazy.
see you later.
You let him run for it, Yeah.
She did.
And yeah, that he did.
Yeah.
We met at that choir thing, and I was so not into him because he's just I'm not as outgoing as him. So just meet Andre's a big personality. So when I was thrown out, I was whoa, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say intimidated, I would say annoyed. I was annoyed. So however,
This cup of tea is a little too hot for me.
there you go. However, I was just playing a little cat and mouse, a little, but he won me over. It was
Aw.
good.
I was
And
persistent.
I was the first girl to be yeah, I like you, but don't talk to me. I don't know. So he was thrown off, but that made you more intrigued, and it worked, I guess. Here we are.
It obviously was successful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys dated for... When did you get engaged?
So we've been dating
January
for
2019.
we've been dating for 9.5 years.
Wow.
But we've been engaged since 2019, so over 3 years.
Wow.
And part of that was due to the panorama.
Pandy. Yeah. We love her.
So yeah.
But also part of it was because we spent 6 years long distance.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty crazy.
So 9 years together, but 6 years of those were...
No, even longer than that, right?
Was it? I'm pretty sure it was 6 years.
maybe like 8. Anyway.
Because so obviously, like I graduated before her.
Yeah.
I went to the prep school for West Point Military School in New York. So I graduated. She's here. I'm in New York. And then she went to New York City, and then I went to school in Vermont. And I was in Vermont for like 3 years. And then it was like her mom, after she graduated, moved to Virginia. So it wasn't even like whenever we come home for breaks, we were in the same place.
Right.
She'd go to her mom, I'd come back to San Antonio. So it was just...
But through all that, like in high school, my parents were buying me like plane tickets to go see him. Like they believed that I was in love. Like they really believed it.
Aww.
And I'd go by myself and be with him and his mom and like hang out on like spring break. And he'd come, and visit sometimes. And then when I was in college, I'd take an 8-hour train ride to Vermont to go see him.
Aww.
Once a month, maybe once every 2 months. Like on my own dime, like, and he'd do the same and come down to New York City, but like, yeah, like who does that? Like in high school and college, like
Yeah,
who?
you guys were committed.
Yeah, we were like for real in love. Like looking back, I was like, that's some like grown stuff to do. Like, why were we doing that at like 17?
Yeah.
But yeah, we just really were committed to each other like that that young of an age, and yeah, it worked out.
So did you guys know, like, pretty much the whole time that you wanted to be together forever? Was there a moment when it was, like, finalized and you realized now's the time to propose?
So it's funny because I told her this story, like, yesterday. And I guess I had never told her before.
Yeah.
So in 2017, I remember being at school. I was in Vermont. And I was on the phone with my mom. And I was like, yeah, Mom, like, I guess I just been thinking about it a lot that week, and I was like, Mom, like I want to propose, like I want to marry her, like I know for sure I want to marry her. Da da da. My mom was like, are you sure? Like it's a big commitment. Da da da. Just like give it some thought. Blah blah blah.
Just being a mom, yeah.
So that was in 2017. Fast forward like another year, I guess I had just been like, you know what, whatever, and like kept thinking about it, and it was like the week, of Thanksgiving or like the week before Thanksgiving. And we went to the outlets in San Marcos. We're just walking around, and I guess we were just talking about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get her a ring. And my mom, we were walking by the Hellsberg outlet. And my mom was like, screw it. Let's go look at rings right now. And me, like, I was serious, but I, like, wasn't, like today serious. Like, so, like, my mom was like, let's go look at rings. And I'm like, oh, like, right now? Like rings like actually today?
For real?
And she was like, yeah, I mean, let's go do it. So and so then I'm like, all right, cool, we can go look. Like I was like, we can go look. So we're in there, and the Hellsberg people did an incredible job of selling it. But even still, I was ready to walk out. Like I was like, okay, cool, I got my information. And like they were like, oh yeah, it costs this much. Da, da, da. My mom's like, why don't you just get it right now? You can afford it. And I was just like, oh.
Wow, Mom putting me out there like that.
Oh yeah, I was like, I mean, like I don't. And she was like, like you want to do this, she's the right person, like just.
Is your mom a very spontaneous person?
No, but she's like, if you want to do something, do it.
Yeah.
She knew
serious.
that this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
And she was trying to support you.
Yeah.
in that.
So then I was like, whatever, like screw it, I'm gonna buy it. And so I had the ring for like 2 months before I actually proposed, and I wasn't nervous until the day I was proposing.
Where did you hide the ring? I love this question.
Well, I lived in my parents' house, so I just hid it in the closet.
Okay. And you weren't like...
But he still hid it, though.
Yeah. Just in case.
And he showed everyone.
I showed everybody.
Everybody knew, apparently.
No, like literally, like so my parents have an annual Christmas party. Like every time like a friend came over, or like I was like, y'all want to see the ring? And they were like, yes. So there was like just a mass of people just running upstairs.
It's like your new toy. You're
like, yeah. I would literally like every day before I went to bed, like just like go in the closet and like look at it. And
oh,
like, oh
he
God.
loves you so much.
So
cute. So did you know what kind of ring she wanted? Did you guys talk about it?
Okay, so
Is this a sensitive
I'm glad
topic?
this came up because she claims that she was like,
glad,
"Oh,
huh?
I told you what kind of ring I wanted." She probably did, and I forgot.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Men.
but
Hey, at least you admit it.
but I like. Cause I guess I really screwed up because she was like, I like gold jewelry, and I got her a silver ring, but it's okay because
It's white gold.
I liked it. So
Still gold.
You're right.
because like I like this sounds really messed up. I knew like the type of ring like I wanted to get her because I was like, oh, this looks really nice to me. If I was a girl, I want someone to get me this type of ring. So I wanted to get her something that was like shiny and like other girls would be like, ooh, like that's a nice ring. But I didn't want it to be
Goals.
like massive to where like if I wasn't with her, she'd be like a target.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I got her the perfect ring.
I appreciate that it's what he wanted his wife to wear, if that makes
Aw,
sense. And I
yeah.
love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, but it wasn't what I thought of when I was 15. Like, you know, like things change and it's
Yes.
beautiful, and I love it very much.
So did you know the proposal was coming?
So it was on our 6-year anniversary. So I'm like, if he's not proposing on our anniversary, he'll propose on my birthday or Valentine's Day or Christmas. I'm like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, he was acting weird that day. And I was like,
How so? Like, what kind of weird? Just like anxious?
I don't think I was being weird.
Was he being quiet?
I went out to get grocery, like ingredients for dinner. And he's like, call me when you park your car. And I'm like, why? He's like, just call me
when you're at the red light and you're about to turn right.
Yeah, I'm serious. And I was like, babe, why can't I just text you? He's like, call me. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm here. He's like, okay. And so I walk up and I like knock on my own doors, my apartment. I'm like, hello.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Are you decent?
And you can say what you did.
Okay, so I was being like that because we were at her apartment in Austin, and like she had this like really like nice like long hallway that like led like obviously she had like an open concept, but it like led straight to her bedroom.
Okay.
So I went to HEB. For all the guys that are paying attention who watch this, if you go to HEB, you can buy rose petals.
That's a good... I didn't know that.
Like bags.
You can buy like a bag of rose petals. It's
Oh
like
my
$13.
gosh.
Yeah.
We love HEB.
So I bought 2 bags of rose petals, and like I made a trail of rose petals to her bedroom and like to the bed, and then I'm so proud of myself because I'm not artsy, but I managed to make like a pretty decent heart out of rose petals on the bed. And then I put like I got her a bouquet of flowers and I put it in like the middle of it. And so like when she came up, I actually met her outside her apartment. And so like
again, like
I was
knock, he
like-
like stepped outside.
yeah, I
I'm
like
like,
stepped
hello.
out and like I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I like because I wanted to make sure it was all right. And then I like opened the door and like let her go in first. And I had the ring in my back pocket. And like she like walked in and I could tell like she was like tearing up and she was like, oh my God. And then she like turned around and I was on a knee. And I had like a thing I was gonna say and I forgot it instantly and I was just like, it's about time. And then that's all I got out, and then she started to cry. So.
She's like, any question here though?
No, he proposed. He asked the question. He said my full name, and he asked, "Will you marry me?" And I ugly cried, like not cute, like oh my God, like full on, like it was really bad. And I'm glad he didn't record it or anything.
Like,
I was
yeah.
red. I was just like wailing, and then in my head I was like, shut up and listen to what he's saying. So I was like. And I like start crying and I hugged him. He was on a knee and he was like, did you say yes?
She
and I
did.
was like, yeah. And
She like crushed me like with her, like
I was
I'm like she's like hugging me and I'm like
the
on
ring,
the ground
the ring.
like this and I'm like, you gotta say yes.
And yeah, it was perfect. Like if I think about it too much, I could cry about it. Like he was super romantic. Like it was so cute.
Is he
And-
typically a romantic guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
Pretty romantic.
But he knew to take that extra step with like the flowers and the heart. Like
You
I'm
hadn't
glad
seen that before. Yeah.
glad he did that. Like I walked in and I was like, okay, this is for the anniversary or I'm being proposed to. I'm like, I don't know. And then I walked in and, you know, flowers are in the heart and I picked it up and I turned around, I hugged him, I was like, thank you, this is so nice. And I put it back down and I turned and he was on a knee and I was like, it's happening.
Oh, how special. I love that it was an intimate thing
Yes.
too, and it was like what you guys needed.
That's what I always told him. I was like, not in front of my family, not in front of a mall or a restaurant. Like, please, not a restaurant.
Yeah.
Just for me personally, right?
Did you know you were gonna be like ugly crying?
No.
It just happened.
Yeah, it was really bad. So I'm glad it wasn't in front of anybody. But I told him, like, I want it to be you and I. I want it to be like, if we're getting married, like, we have to do some things by ourselves. And I think one of them for me personally is the engagement. Like, it's between you and me, not like somebody's phone in your face as you're proposing. Like, I feel like I'm like, that's not for me. But
Yeah.
it was perfect. He listened to that part for sure.
Oh, Okay, so before we keep going and keep talking about or start talking about your wedding, I'm going to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, the Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort and Spa. Bridal Babes, if you are looking for a wedding venue, a resort here in San Antonio that has amazing guest accommodations, this is the place for you. The Hill Country Resort and Spa has amazing venues, amazing catering, and an incredible team of professional wedding staff there to help you put on the day of your dreams and make the weekend super memorable for your guests. So make sure you check them out today on sanantonioweddings.com. That's the Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort and Spa. Okay, so you guys had a little bit of a longer engagement. Was that anticipated, or you had to kind of change your plans?
So I am a Pinterest girl. 10 years ago, Pinterest was all the rage, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, my wedding board from 2012 is fire.
Same. So I was like, cool, like our wedding is planned. Like I've been planning this since we started dating when I was 15. Like it was done.
Yeah, like we're good.
And so I was like, cool, we're getting married in a year. Like, nice.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. We kind of went overboard. We saw 32 venues.
Wow.
Because we looked at the picture and we love options. We love checking everything out. I'm very much a planner.
Yeah.
And he is very much like with the detail. Like if it's not exactly how I want it, like, no, we're not getting married there. So we look at pictures and be like, yeah, that's beautiful. And we'd go, and it was
not what it looked like online.
And we figured out photographers are very good at their jobs. So
that's why we pay them the big bucks.
We kept going. And the one we loved was like the third to last or something like that.
Okay.
And, but it was like a lot. And so that took up like 2-3 months.
So which venue did you end up going with?
We went with Canyonwood Ridge in Dripping Springs. Okay. It's right in the middle of Austin, San Antonio. Like great for
prime
both.
Hill Country.
Yes, Hill Country views, perfect. Indoors because we got married in July, so hot. But it was like a lot at once, and I was ready to go. I'm like, cool, let's go. And along with that comes money and everybody on the same page and contracts and timelines. And I've been preparing for 10 years, or 6, however long we've been
aesthetically
together.
You had the plan.
I'm good. Let's go. And everybody else was like a little new to it. Well, I was not so new to like planning wedding
catch
stuff.
Up people.
Yes. So we didn't end up getting married exactly a year after being engaged. And then it was 2020. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, no, we're getting married next year, 2021. Nope. And then lots of things happened between that. And we were like, I can't wait any longer. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we've been together for so long, and now this engagement is making it even longer. And it was nice being engaged. Like, looking back, like, it was, I suggest people be engaged for like a year. Like, just enjoy it. Like, don't, because at first I was really rushing. Yeah, he felt rushed while I was ready to go. Like, it's okay. Like, I think as women, we're like, I've been preparing all of my life. Like,
I literally was like, I'm ready to get married in 6 months if you are. And he's like, give it a year, please.
Right.
Fine. So I think the funniest thing about that is like, one of the hardest things I had to realize is like, as a guy, I never thought about my wedding ever. So like, I felt bad too, because like a lot of the venues we'd look at, she'd be like, oh my God, like this is amazing. I love it. And then I'm like
cool.
Like
next.
There would always be like since I'd never thought it, there was always something I'm like, okay.
Just didn't feel right.
Yeah. And then like I talked to my mom, and my mom was like, my mom would remind me of stuff about myself because my mom is like not in it. So like whenever I'm in it, I'm not.
She got the bird's eye
view.
So
she's like, okay, you're looking at all these places that don't have indoor options. Like you're gonna sweat. Like you're gonna be nervous. You're gonna sweat. And I'm like, oh yeah.
That's what it is.
Like I was like, oh yeah, like I do that. So then like after that it was like every place we go, like if they didn't have like a designated indoor space, it was like a straight no.
Yeah.
And then there were some places that were like super like country western venues.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Like when I started like thinking like what do I want for my wedding, it was like really like main 2 things. I wanted our reception space to be like grand. So like when you walk in, I wanted people to be like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I wanted a inside like chapel-esque
ceremony
space.
Yeah.
So we found a place that had both of those.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you learned a lot about what you were looking for. It's like, and thank you for involving him in that process. You know, like
I was a very involved groom.
Yeah, like
I do not subscribe. Like, guys, if you were a guy and you're listening to this, yes, it is about your wife and the bride. It is also your day. Like, it is also like that was one thing.
it's like 50-50. Like,
Yeah.
that's marriage.
literally getting married.
it's like a huge stigma. Like, oh, like the dude just has to show up.
Yeah.
But it's like there was so much stuff where I was talking to our coordinator about like, oh, I want like the like vine chandeliers and
Nice.
like stuff, just because I'm like, oh, like that looks cool. Like I saw like we used to watch like the wedding shows like for weddings, and like I'd see stuff and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or like a DJ setup, I'm like, oh, like I want it to be like this. Or whenever we first saw the reception space, I'm like, oh, we could put it up. Like because I'm like, it's my day too. I don't want to look back at the video and be like, oh, I was dumb. But then like I can't really say anything if I wasn't involved. Like I can't really be upset if I don't like something after the fact. I'm like, but I could have changed it or put my stamp on it, but I didn't.
I think the worst thing any groom can do is wait until the day of the wedding to be like, I don't like this.
Yeah, that's like really too late.
My love.
Yeah. And also like obviously weddings are a big deal. Love weddings. Ceremony is super important. But after you like walk back down the aisle, it's a party.
Yeah.
So if guys like stop thinking, oh, weddings are for women and girly frou-frou and whatever. If you think about it, like me and my best friend are throwing a party.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want that to look like?
That's
of course
rage.
the guy's of course the guy's gonna be involved. He's like, yeah, I want this type of liquor and I want this DJ. Like, I think, you know, family and friends like are like, all right, bride, let's go. And it's like, where's the groom at?
Yeah.
And just like rearrange your mindset to be like, this is a party of like a celebration. Let's dance, let's eat. And of course it could be more formal, more casual, but either way, like you're throwing a party with your best friend. Like do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And he's definitely, you know, super opinionated and like he's gonna say what he wants. And off the bat, when we got engaged the next day, he's like, for our wedding, I want barbecue. I'm like, okay, cool with me.
Nice.
Like, and you know, I see online and everything, like people fight about like the littlest things. I'm like, if your man wants barbecue, like just do barbecue. Like it's okay.
Unless you're like die hard for some lasagna or something. Like have a conversation. Maybe we can have both.
Yeah. A barbecue station lasagna. And lasagna out the oven. Like
barbecue at the rehearsal dinner, lasagna at the, you know, like there's compromise. There's ways to meet people in the middle.
If somebody really wants something, like don't deny, because as a bride you wouldn't want that, right? Like, oh, Elise, you can't have that. That's a great way for me to be mad as a bride planning, right? So like I wouldn't do that to him. You know?
It was also too like on the barbecue topic. It was because we had a decent amount of people coming from like out of state.
Okay.
And I was like, they've claimed like, oh yeah, I've had good barbecue. I'm from South Carolina. I'm from blah, blah. I visit my family.
Northeastern people.
Y'all have never had real barbecue. No. Like it's different. So I was like, we're gonna give you a taste of Texas barbecue.
Yeah, Texas barbecue is not like any other barbecue.
It's not. So I was like, they're gonna, and everybody was, oh my god, this is amazing. This is the best. Like, yeah.
Yay, success.
I think San Antonio is now officially like the best barbecue city.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it. I think SA Current put out a post the other day. Yeah, we beat like Houston and like the Carolinas and like everything.
I'm glad we get to claim that because apparently Austin took our taco title. And I'm like,
I disagree.
Anyway, I'm like, I can't even get into that right now.
Yeah. I lived in both. I disagree.
Yeah, me too. So let's get into like the pre-wedding events. Did you guys do bachelor or bachelorette parties? Tell me about those.
So like I said, I had a decent amount of friends coming from out of state. So my bachelor party was like super low key. Like we just went out to the St. Mary's Strip. Okay. Just the people that were local. And then I think I had one person that like just arrived early because he's actually going to move down here. So he was like looking at apartments and stuff.
Oh, nice.
So he actually got to be here for it, but it was just me and my eight guys, and we just went and
Did you guys get a hotel or anything, or you stayed at your place, or?
Yeah, I
So
Oh, they're all local, so they just went home.
So the honest truth is, whenever I was in like college, I partied so much that like now I'm like an old man.
Yeah.
Like
You're like, let's go
I had
play
to
golf.
I had to mentally prepare for like a month for my bachelor party.
Yeah.
Like it was like I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go out after work and I'm gonna have to be out till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
You're like
I had a
saving-
lot of fun, but
Yeah.
I was just like, and then the next day I was just like, okay, I don't want to do this.
So it was a
again.
little bit cooler than that. I feel like he's like not giving it credit.
No, it
So
was
It was
pretty
a good
cool.
time.
his best friend bought him, I don't know if you know, like a slingshot car. It's like
It's
a
like those like little
sports
Oh,
car
the small
thing,
ones
and you're like in
with your
it.
head popping
But
out.
his was like lighted up rainbow and like
pretty cool.
flashing, and it was so cool. He like pulled up to
You're like,
your
we
work.
just went to St. Mary's.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
I went
no,
home.
you like rolled up in like this cool lighted up
it was pretty
car.
cool. It was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
And they had fun, and then he came back home. I was asleep. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they came back home, and they were out, and lots of videos. It was like, no, you had a good ass.
I had a good time. I was just it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I didn't get like super drunk, so that was
Good.
good.
You still remember it.
Yeah,
we
it
love
was pretty
that.
fun. It was pretty fun.
And what about you?
Yes. So before the wedding, when we got engaged, we had our engagement party. His grandparents threw that for us. It was very nice. And then I had my bridal shower. I think that was in like March or May. That was nice. It was at the Botanical
I think it
Gardens.
was in May.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I used to work there, so I like just love that place.
Yeah.
And then I had my batch 2 days before the wedding.
Fun.
Because once again, everybody's coming from out of state. We lived a lot of places, and I'm like, I don't want to have a batch without my friends from New York. Like, I don't. So, yeah, Tuesday, we like went up on a Tuesday, and it was fun. I did like the cowgirl theme, rhinestone cowgirl,
Nice.
hats, and the whole thing.
Here in
and
San Antonio, too.
we did it in Austin
Okay.
because Dripping Spring,
Yeah.
just a little closer. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we rented out an Airbnb, and we did pictures and videos and all of that. So,
Awesome.
and then
Yeah, you
the
had
next
a
day was the
batch day.
rehearsal. Yeah, batch day.
Yeah, so tell me about the wedding day.
Yeah, it was.
How were you feeling? Did you
Good.
wake up feeling zen?
So
or-
we decided to spend the night before together, because like we've lived together for 2 years. Like I'm not sleeping with the person that I sleep with every day.
yeah,
the
just
night-
because someone says it's bad luck.
Right.
Yeah.
The night
I'm having this
before.
conversation right now,
Yeah.
That's
too. with
literally
my-
what we said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to fall asleep.
Right?
Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
So we woke up next to each other and we whipped out our phones and we did private vows, like right when we woke up. And I went first and then he went. We cried. It was great. Got up and I went to the venue. And I was feeling good. Like, I forgot deodorant. So I was like, Mom, turn the car around. And I forgot something else too, but then we were good. And I got there and it was really cool seeing things starting to be set up, and I'm like, wow, like it's coming together.
Yes.
And yeah, I just did hair and makeup. We had breakfast in the room and I was feeling good. For as long as we've been together and planning Pinterest since I was 15, I always thought I'd be so emotional and crying, and like everybody else was but me. Like for some reason I felt so calm. I was like, yeah, like I'm
you were
here.
just ready to take it in and let it
Yeah.
happen.
And I don't know why. I always imagined myself crying and like, Kyla, and I just wasn't like that.
Huh.
I was just super happy. Everybody's like, how are you? How are you feeling? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, like eating like a kolache. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
like, leave me alone.
You're right. And that's how we were for the rest of the day. Like, obviously you can say how you felt, but like, I was chill. Like,
That's awesome.
right before the doors open, I was like, yeah, are we good to go? Like, we're good?
Like,
No.
is it my cue?
Yeah. And the guy who opened the door, he was like, you look beautiful. I was like, yeah, you look good too. Thanks. Door open. Like, I was like, cool. Do.
We
Like,
all look good.
yeah. I was just really calm. And I think I was so calm because, one, we've been together for so long, and I'm like, I'm ready. Like, let's get it done.
Yeah.
And then also just like, I'm marrying the right person. Like, I
Yeah.
have no, oh no, maybe he's not the right one. Like, no, like I'm straight. Like, I'm good. And just, he makes me calm. Like, I was up there and I was very like we were just like looking at each other. It wasn't like crying or sweating.
You're just like excited.
Freaking out.
Oh no, I was sweating.
Well, maybe he was
I
sweating.
was sweating.
Just very like calm and happy because I'm with the right guy.
Aw. So what
Yeah.
about your perspective?
I thought I'd be more nervous, but it was honestly really cool because like obviously I woke up next to her, she left, and then like I think it was like two of my best friends were in the same hotel, so my best man and another one of my grooms were in the hotel. We went to breakfast together, and then like three of my other groomsmen like met us there later. Like it was literally just a day hanging out with my friends, like
Yeah.
and then I was getting married that day.
Did you go to Waffle House?
Yeah, went to Waffle House.
That was like his must have. Also, another thing, he was like, I'm having Waffle House the morning of our wedding. I was
Yeah.
like, cool.
I
So
love that.
we went to Waffle House and then came back, got dressed, and then we literally were just all dressed up, sitting in the groom suite for like 2 hours before we
Yeah.
had to take our pictures.
Yeah.
And we were in there just goofing off.
Yeah.
I want to like the uncut video or like the uncut audio because like I was mic'd up probably for like 30 minutes before like I went out
Okay.
there. So I was like, the stuff we were singing is probably like shouldn't come out, but it's probably hilarious. It was,
So you guys had a videographer, huh?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was my must have. I
Yeah.
was like, I need the best. So I found the best of
Yeah.
what we wanted. And I hired 2 photographers and 2 videographers, like them and their assistants. So we had 4 cameras pointed at us all day. And at one point, like, you know, you're doing the veil shot of like the veil and like you're under the veil. And I was like, honey, have you ever had 4 cameras pointed at you before? And our videographer, Josh, he was like, have you ever had 4 people under your veil? I was like, no, but I'm like, I
Looking
don't
back,
care.
your veil
Like,
was massive.
oh, of course.
Was it like a full length veil?
cathedral?
Yes,
Yeah,
queen.
like I'm doing it big. Like,
Yeah.
and my dress was glitter, just like full on glitter
Oh
and
my
lace.
You
And I'm
should
like,
have just wore the dress.
listen, I'm extra, but I don't know if I'm that extra.
I'm gonna start requiring that for
Yeah.
couples. They have to wear their wedding attire.
Honestly, I would have
No,
if
I
you
don't.
told
I
us
don't
to.
have mine. Mine was rented, but
Yeah, that was a process too because Andre was like, I don't want to be some regular dude in a black tux. No offense,
Yeah.
no offense to
Anybody who
anybody
likes
who's
black
planning to
stars?
wear a black
Yeah.
tux
but
or
like
gray or
we've just seen it
like
over and over.
Beige.
Yeah.
like, it's just
Blue.
boring, dude. It's boring.
We just seen it over and over.
So what did you do?
So I don't even know what color it is.
I would say it's like a cinnamon brown, like
So
warm.
my groomsmen were in
brown.
cinnamon brown. I had the cinnamon brown pants and a cinnamon brown vest, and then my jacket was like champagne, but it had like
It's like
maybe,
a
like
paisley.
Yeah, it was like a paisley design. Yeah.
So the design was like metallic, and then his jacket was like a matte ivory.
Wow.
And so he did 2-tone, and you had like tan and like the same brown shoes. It was like really cool.
Yeah.
And it was just a little bit different from just like plain one color.
Yeah.
And that was also his thing from the start. He's like, man, I do not want to wear black or blue. Just because it's like,
So, like
because I'd show him pictures. Look at my Pinterest, and all the guys would wearing the same colors, and he was very adamant about being like, I don't want to look like my groomsmen. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the groom, like, right, like bride. Like, I don't want to look like my bridesmaid. Same kind of thing. So it's okay to like step out a little bit. Yes. So Friar Tuck's has a rental
Yeah.
company called Stitch and Tie,
yeah, they
And-
were amazing. Got
yeah.
everything on time.
and it was exact measurements. So it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a large. Like I measured all the groomsmen. I was like, I'm making sure this is done right. So measuring tape, everything, and it was the only place we could find that color. Like all the browns were like dark brown, and this was more like warm. And I got my dress at Impression Bridal here in San Antonio. That's where I used to work.
Okay.
And so my dress adventure was kind of funny. So I was contacting the other location, and I was like, listen, I want this dress. Like, send it in my size, because they had it. And it came. I made it a big deal. I was like, yep, this is my dress. But I'm going to like try on 3 more anyway. And the one before the one I thought I was going to get, I started crying. And I'm like, what's going on? This isn't my dress.
Yeah. Like, this isn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like just for fun. And my best friend like did the train, because we were all bridal stylists. So it was cool. I, have people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But she did the train, and I just started crying.
Aw.
And I literally look at myself. I'm like, this is not my dress. Like, why am I doing this? And I'm like, no, but it is my dress. And yeah, It was, but I just look back and I'm like, I made it a really big deal, and then I didn't go with that one. I was like, "Ooh, sorry."
I'm sure they were still happy to make a sale.
Yeah. Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Absolutely. And then our photographer and videographer, like I did deep search on, SA
Was it
weddings.
like 20?
Yeah, I narrowed it down to 20 people.
I had to choose between 3 of them.
Yes.
Because she
Photographer's a hard
she cut it
category.
down from 20 to 3, and I got to choose between the 3.
It's
Wow,
like-
that's an honor.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't be responsible.
Right. Like you narrow it down from style, like the colors and the edit
their
that
editing
they
style,
use,
their
and
pricing.
and location.
Yep.
You know, some people fly people out, and I'm like, no, I want somebody local.
Is it one shooter?
Yeah.
Is it 2? There's so many things.
And I wanted a photographer and videographer of the same company, or like at least they know each other.
Yeah, they can work together.
Yeah, and I found them, Joshua and Parisa. They're so good. They're
really good.
so good.
Are they Austin based?
Yes.
Okay.
But Josh is in San Antonio, actually.
Okay.
Josh is the videographer.
Yeah. So Lona Weddings is the video, and then Parisa Mae Photography is the photographer.
Okay.
And we did our engagement shoot with her, and it was just that's another tip. Like, do your engagement shoot with the person you're gonna get married, your photography with for your wedding.
Have your style be consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also get to know them, because on the day I was
Yes.
like, hi, like hugged her, like I was comfortable. It was good.
So, what were some of the moments during the day that like really stood out the most, where you're like, "Wow, this is my wedding. Like, we're here, we're doing this."
When
We
the
said
doors
that.
opened, I had to walk down the aisle.
Wow.
Yeah. I was walking with my mom and dad, and so I thought like I would get like not stage fright, but just like nervous. And then I wasn't. Like I was looking around, making faces at people and having fun.
Like these are your favorite people.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So that's why I was like, oh, it was a weird feeling, because like you see like other people's weddings, you see him standing up there, like the groom standing up there by himself, and you're like, wow, like, oh, I'd be so nervous. And then you're like, oh, it's a room full of people that I've known since I was a little kid, or like my family members that I've known since I was a baby.
that
so,
love
like,
me so much. They
yeah,
spent money
so
to
it's
be
like,
here, and
like they've seen me in settings like this before, like, and I wasn't. So I'm like, I wasn't nervous. It was just I was goofing around and like winking at people, and yeah, like so it was pretty fun.
Yeah, mine was the same, like getting ready, because I'm in the corner behind a little wall watching my bridesmaids like go down, and I'm like, ooh, I'm next. And that's when I got a little emotional, was right before I walked down. I was like, you just spent so much money on makeup, do not cry. And I was just looking up like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then I was calm, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. And the doors open, and I saw the whole thing, and I was like, this is exactly what I dreamed of. Like all the years of planning and the freaking 10 years of Pinterest and all of that. I'm like, yeah, I made it happen. Like my dream come true, and my dream guy at the end. And I just walked down, like it was such a long walk. And I just took my time. I was like, slow down, slow down, slow down. Like, this is your what, like, take it in. Like, this is what you've been dreaming about.
nobody's gonna complain if you're walking too slow as the
Right.
bride. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. If anything, they're gonna be like, "Wait, I didn't see the back of your dress." Like, yeah.
And then afterwards, it was when we were sitting at our sweetheart table, like dinner was already there for us, and I looked at him, I was like, this is our wedding. Like, we're having our wedding right now. Like, we're at our wedding. And he was like, we're at our wedding. Like,
Right now,
And it's really nice. We were both like, this is really nice.
Oh,
Like
this
it was
is
like, yeah, we were like, this is a really nice wedding. Like, and it was another moment is like when we walked back down the aisle. Like, I honestly don't remember where she went immediately, but like I went straight.
I went to the
bri-
bathroom.
Oh, yeah. So I went
Like,
straight.
girls, come on, I
went
gotta
straight into the bridal suite, and I was in there by myself, and I was like, I just got married. I'm like, like,
You're like, "Where's my bride?"
yeah. I was like,
being in a wedding dress.
funny story, right? So we had like signature drinks. This happened while I was in the bridal suite. So we had signature drinks, and the venue manager comes, and the reason why this is really funny is because my signature drink was called the Andre Palmer, which is a combination of lemonade and Crown Apple.
Yum.
And my dad and my grandfather would make fun of me like, oh, no one's going to drink that. That's a sissy drink, right? So on the day, the venue manager comes. She's like, "Hey, oh my God, congratulations! Just wanted to tell you, we're like 10 minutes away from running out of Crown Apple." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, we bought like the." She was like, "No, yeah, I guess everybody's been drinking your signature drink."
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, "Oh, all right, well, stop serving it until I get out there."
Yeah,
She's
like,
like, "Do you
can
want
I
me to
have-"
bring you one?" And I was like, "Yes." And then like she was like, "Do you want me to have somebody go get some more?" And I was like, "Yes." Like go talk to my dad.
Aw.
Like, but yeah, that was funny. So
So
I
they had to
was-
pick up more Crown Apple in the
Yeah.
middle of the wedding.
Yes.
That's how you know it's a good wedding, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What was your signature drink?
I did a watermelon mojito, and it was
Mm.
strong.
Oh,
They were
was
making
strong.
drinks.
people were like, okay, we got to take it slow with these.
Yeah, they were like, "Your drink is stronger than his." I'm like, "Yeah,
I can tell. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So where did you go after? Did you have a honeymoon right after? Are you guys still waiting on a honeymoon?
So
We just got back like
yeah,
uh
couple days ago.
yeah, it was on.
What's a couple days? Like a week ago. Anyway,
Yeah.
right after the wedding, we had an after party at on 6th Street.
Oh.
So we rented a party bus to pick everybody up. We did 2 hotel blocks, and so it stopped at one, and it picked everybody up, and it met us at the hotel we were staying at, and we got on,
We had
and
like 40 people.
Did you
Yeah.
go out in your wedding dress?
oh
Oh, I was like gonna be like, yeah.
no, no, it was way too expensive.
No, we changed.
Yeah.
we had outfits.
Oh, yeah, we
Sixth
had-
Street's called Dirty Six for a reason.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But we had matching outfits.
Yeah.
We planned everything to a T. We had matching honeymoon outfits. Like we've been waiting for this one.
Yeah.
Were
And-
you were all on board for the matching outfits?
Oh no, it was his idea.
Love
It
it.
was my idea. Yeah. We have to coordinate. We have
Yeah.
to be color coordinated for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, right after the wedding, we partied, and honestly, I didn't get too crazy. I was just
Yeah.
having fun with my friends. Like I
Yeah.
haven't seen my friends in years. Like
Yeah.
it was nice, just and different people in the same room, like at a bar. Like it was fun. And then we slept. We woke up and we got on the airplane and we
Wow.
went to our honeymoon. We took a cruise out of Florida.
So was it like a 2-week honeymoon?
No,
One.
it was a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
7 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where did your cruise go to?
Went to the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Grand Turk, which is Turks and Caicos.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm sure you just soaked that up.
Yes.
What is the advice that you would give to couples that are recently engaged, planning a wedding in this phase of life?
I say the first thing, like, if you enjoy it, like, enjoy being engaged, because like that's a new stage. Like you went from dating to being engaged. Like
Yeah.
enjoy that new stage. Enjoy getting to be like, oh yeah, this is my fiance. Like just enjoy it and get to know you. Make sure you work on getting to know each other better every single day. Like
Aw.
just make that a focus. I know, like, even over our 3 years of engagement, like I can honestly say from the day that I proposed, like I wasn't ready to be married even on the day I proposed. But like I told her this too, like I was ready to be married the day we got married.
Oh.
And so it was the right time. Like I grew up a lot. I'm ready to be a father in the future, hopefully.
Aw.
And I'm amazing and happy to be a husband.
Aw.
My advice would be do what you want. Like, there was a lot of stress. So, yes, we're talking about all the good things. There was a lot of stuff that went down
Yeah.
as well. And at the end of the day, you're going to be upset if you didn't get those pink roses or if you didn't get the dress that you wanted
Yeah.
or you wore a black tux and not
Yeah.
the brown one you wanted. Like do
you
what you
forgot
want.
to advocate at a certain point. Yeah.
Yes, advocate for yourself because there's
Yeah.
going to be families, there's going to be friends, there's going to be bridal experts, there's going to be everything telling you what to do or suggesting what you
Yes.
do. And just do what you want. Like
Yeah.
it's going to come out fine.
Mhm.
It's like, am I making the right decision? Yeah, because it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Just figure out how to implement it and it'll work. And remember, it's a big party. Like
Yes.
there's so much stress around
celebration.
planning. Yes,
Like,
it's a celebration. Like have fun with it and be happy. Because
Yeah.
there were now I look back and there were so many days I was stressed. I had to take a day off work because I was so stressed out. Like
Wow.
I couldn't function. I was like, I need to get things done for my wedding. And I spent a whole day doing like wedding tasks. I'm like, wow, I feel so much better because I got that done. But like, wow, I had to take a day off work
Yeah.
to,
Wedding planning
relieve
is
myself.
It's a full-time job and yeah.
So my advice is don't stress out over things you don't need to be stressing out about, and do what you want.
Yeah.
And to his point of like getting to know each other every day, please do marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. It's
Yeah.
literally just like telling each other how you communicate, how you love, your love language. Like, you know, I really don't like when you do this, and because like you get down to the root of it
Yes.
and stuff like that. Like it's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're breaking up, doesn't mean you're not meant to be together.
Exactly. It doesn't mean you have problems that would keep you from walking down the
No,
aisle.
we honestly, we don't really have problems.
Yeah.
We don't argue. Like we're pretty good, but we took it anyway. We're like, like, yeah, that's why. Or, you know, oh, I'll do that better for you.
Yeah.
And
We are huge advocates for premarital counseling here.
and
Yeah.
you get a discount off your marriage license. To everybody who
awesome.
doesn't know,
Yeah.
those
Win-win.
things cost money.
Yeah.
And it's a little expensive, so
Yeah.
that takes money off. But we took a free marriage counseling course over like videos, like online.
Oh, wow.
And you know, legitimate, you know, counseling session that took money off our
It was an
marriage
amazing
license.
course. It was an amazing course.
And yeah, it was very good, and I'm so glad we did it. And yeah, I think that would be my advice: is marriage counseling and do what you want.
My other bits of advice would be don't be afraid to break traditions. Like there's so many like time honored like wedding traditions
Yeah.
that like, because even like how he said like we spent the night together. My mom even the week before was like, oh, so where are you going for the wedding night? Are you gonna come stay at home with us? Like, you know, you're not supposed to see it. And I'm like no, like I'm gonna stay with like what? Like
Yeah.
like I've always heard like, oh, I hope it doesn't rain on our wedding day 'cause that's bad luck. Like, and then it's like, you know, like don't worry about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, also advice: things are gonna go wrong. Things are gonna go wrong. Little, you know, there's a little couple things that went wrong, and I was like,
Other big advice too to mitigate stress: have a wedding planner.
Mm-hmm.
Every woman out there who's like, oh no, you can't plan your wedding yourself. No, you can't.
I tried.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You cannot do it. No, you can't. You cannot do it.
Tell him, Kevin. Tell him.
You can't do it. Like,
Because,
go.
like,
That's why they have them.
Who's
like,
gonna open the doors for you? Who's gonna do this and this and this? Like, don't make it your mom's job.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
just even for a day, like
Yeah.
hire the lady for a day, like something.
Yes. They're, you know, everyone's in the position that they're in. And if you have to have a wedding without a planner or a coordinator, still get married. But
Of course.
like, I feel the same way.
so it's like
The wedding will be so much better and your money will feel way more better spent.
yeah,
yeah.
worthwhile.
Yeah. When you have that planner there to make sure everything is going smoothly.
It also just took stress off us because I know like whenever when you're trying to search for vendors or like you have a vendor, you're like, oh, do we email them back? Do we email? And then it's like felt good to be like, oh, tell the planner.
She's got it.
Tell the
Nice.
planner to email
Yeah.
them, like, and we don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
And then it's like she'll be like, oh, they reached out and said this. Okay, cool, answer them back. Like we don't have to worry about it. It's like one less thing.
Yep.
And then like as we get closer, we're like, oh, like. Is this done? Is this done? And she's like, yeah, it's done. We got it.
Yeah.
And I was
So
like,
Heather, glass slipper events.
Nice.
For instance, a combination of what I said and what he said. I got to the venue and she was like, I have to tell you something. And I was like, what? She was like, another makeup team showed up. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you know, the person you did your first trial with? Yeah, they showed up. So I did 2 trials. First one, my makeup was good, but I wasn't feeling it. So I went with another company. But that first company showed up and I never paid them. I never signed a contract. I literally just did like $100 something trial with them for our
And they
engagement
brought a
shoot,
whole
actually.
crew?
Yes. So imagine if I didn't have a coordinator, me going to the venue to that.
Yeah.
So to the point of
Can I help you?
coordinator, yeah, she handled that. They were gone by the time I got
Oh
there.
my
But she was like,
gosh.
I just wanted to let you know because it was a little funny. Like I was like, I never paid them. She's like, I know. And they just showed up. They also never followed back with me. That's also why I didn't pick them. Like after the trial, they didn't
They
email
just
me.
assumed.
Yeah, I guess. I was
That's
crazy. I
crazy
know.
that they showed up without being paid. That's like the only vendor I've
And
ever heard that would do that.
she was like, it was very awkward. Like imagine dealing with that awkwardness on your day. Like I didn't have to deal with that,
Yeah.
you know? So
Thank you for planners.
yes, shout out to Heather for dealing with that because I would have been like crazy little bridezilla little. If somebody showed up, I didn't even pay them and be like, what are you doing here?
It just creates like a buffer, like especially like on the day, like you said, like you didn't have to deal with that. Like, yeah, she told you after the fact, but it's already done. Like, if something like, oh, your photographer's late, like, we shouldn't show up and just be like, where's the photographer? Like, our photographer's late. Like, oh my God. Like, she can just know that the photographer's late, and then when they get there, we figure it out after the fact. And that's why I got to hang out for 2 hours in the groom's room and do nothing, because I didn't have to have anything to do.
Yeah.
I really didn't. Like, when I showed up, they were like setting stuff up, but I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I was just like, oh yeah, don't ask me anything, because I'm gonna be like, yeah, put everything in the corner. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure it goes there. Oh, well, thanks guys so much for sharing about all of your history and your wedding, and, you know, the goods and the bads that came with it. So Kevin and Elise, thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, Bridal Babes, the buzz doesn't have to stop here. We are everywhere online, and we have new Bridal Buzz episodes every week on your favorite streaming platforms. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, subscribe, leave us a review, whatever you want to do. We love your support. And another quick shout out to today's sponsor, Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort and Spa. Find them on sanantonioweddings.com. And again, thanks Elise and Kevin. Let's just end the episode by waving at the camera. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.